What's up, you guys? My name is Irish North, and welcome back to LEGO Arts. So in the last episode, we did a showcase on LEGO Devil May Cry, doing Devil Trigger Edition. So now this time, we are doing another solo minifigure showcase featuring the Mandalorian from Star Wars. This character I got started on a couple of months ago. Like, I was kind of aiming it to be like one of my last showcases of 2019, but I was so busy during like the last 2 months with doing a theater show, as well as traveling to another country, and some other stuff going on that I couldn't get around to finishing him on time. But I am glad that this turned into one of the first showcases of 2020. So when doing this character, I started working on him like a few episodes after watching like the Mandalorian on Disney Plus. And I've always liked the Mandalorians at first, like, to begin with, because, like, they were pretty cool characters, like, awesome badass warriors, and then, after seeing the Mandalorian, I was just like, ooh, that would make an awesome custom, and I've seen a few other people that will do, like, their own interpretations of the Mando, and, so I decided that, like, okay, how about I give it a try and see what we can come up with, and this was the result. So, as you guys know the whole drill, we're going to take this minifigure, do a review in it, explain my process, why I went with this route, and then go from there. So, without further ado, let's get the pedestal out and get this showcase on the road. So when first approaching this character of how to build him in minifigure format, I actually had to change the whole idea of it. So my original idea was either doing like decal torsos of his armor, or maybe taking like one of those official LEGO Mandalorian minifigures and doing like a little repainting on the armor, same thing with the arms and the armor on the legs. But then I decided that like, nah, I want to get really creative with this since it's going to be a solo minifig. I decided to scrap all those ideas and go ahead with like 3D elements, similar of how I approached like my Iron Man Mark 85 for Avengers Endgame. So with this, as you can see, he's got like some 3D elements on his shoulders. The chest piece on the torso, and a little bit of clay on top of the helmet. At first I thought about, like, just repainting the helmet as it was, but then I decided that, like, nah, looks too weird. Let's add a little bit of clay on the top. You can see of, like, where I did some of the sanding, it did come out a little bit wrong, so that was a bit of a pain to, like, clean up, but eventually I got it done. I repainted on like the sides of the helmet as well. Same thing with the visor. Some paint accidentally came off the visor, so I had to redo that. And the detailing on the chest piece at first was like done in Sharpie because I didn't know if the ink marker, if the acrylic marker would come out like too big. I'm glad I didn't use the gold because that thing still has problems. I'm still trying to work with it. But after like redoing it, it actually looks much better, and this way, it actually stays on. Granted, with detailing of the marker, I will admit, this armor piece down here, it could have come out a little bit better, but I think a problem with it was that, like, doing small work on, like, a somewhat, like, medium-size area, it does make it a little bit trickier to do detailing like that, so that was sort of one flaw to it. You can see a little detailing on the boots, not too much of it. Same thing with the arms. I almost thought about making, like, the arm and, like, the wrists three-dimensional, similar of how I did, like, Yang from Ruby. But then I thought, like, no, that'd be a bit too big, and I don't want to make this figure, like, I don't want to make him immobile, because that was how the last showcase came out. With Sin Devil Dante and Sin Devil Virgil, and I wanted his arms to have articulation, so I scrapped that idea and just went ahead with painting it on. You could see some detailing, like, on the hands, and it's where his orange fingertip gloves, and also, like, a little armor on both of the hands, same thing with these markings, and with the shoulder pads, actually went through sort of a double take. So first, the armor was just, like, all silver. And then when adding in the 3D elements, I added in on the clay, like this first part of the clay. I then decided to step it up a little bit and make of, like, if you see Mandalorian, you've probably seen that, like, his armor, or like the outlines are a bit bigger than the other ones. So I decided to add a little bit of that to at least he's on like the pretty much the dividing point on the armor. Because I didn't want to make it too big that it would like overlap and pretty much swallow everything up. So I worked with, so that was a little bit tricky, but once getting that out of the way, it came out pretty well. Small spoiler, if you haven't seen Mando, in the last episode, he gets this little symbol, like his segment on there. I wanted to incorporate that onto doing this because I thought that'd be cool, but it's such a small bit, so it'd make for like very tedious work, and I didn't want to ruin any detailing, so that was something that I had to sacrifice. Back on the torso, as you can see, like his belt and sort of like his strap that goes around him. This was actually done with the same idea that I did for the armored Batman minifigure from Dawn of Justice, where I took some masking tape, cut off a couple of strips of it, then superglued onto the torso, and then went back and did like the paintwork, and this came out pretty nice. Yes, granted, I could have done a little bit better on some of the detailing of like some of his gadgets and everything, but aside from that, I think it was a pretty good approach. As you can see, like he's got his blasters. This one I actually got yesterday, because a pack a pack from some weapons, some like custom brick weapons that I ordered came in yesterday, and I had a few of these, so I decided to give him this one. It was much better than the first blaster I gave him. There we go, put that back on. The rifle, it's based off of the official Lego rifle of how they proceeded with that, but I did it with my own sort of bit, like taking a rifle brick piece, cutting off the front of it, then supergluing all of this on. It's not a bad approach, but I kind of regret doing it because as I didn't realize it until after finishing the minifigure, but Firestar Toys is now officially selling like the custom brick pieces like Mandalorian helmets, printed arms, and as well as like his custom blaster and rifle. And at the time I had already purchased in like some pieces that I needed for Ruby. So if I knew beforehand, I would have gone like, ooh, that would be pretty cool. So that's something that I'll probably change in the future. Maybe the helmet. I haven't officially decided on the helmet, but with the rifle, I think it would look much cooler with like that custom rifle piece. But aside from that, I think these came out pretty nice. On the back, as you can see a fabric cape. This actually is my first attempt at cutting like my own fabric cape. So I've always talked about doing like custom, cutting out like my own trench coats and like jacket pieces for minifigs. But I didn't try cutting out like a fabric cape, and it was mainly because I've always used like an actual cape and either like repainted it or like redesigned it a little bit to suit for a figure. But I ran on a shortage of fabric capes. I have some more now, but I decided that like, you know what? How about we try something a little bit? How about we cut out like our own cape, and see if we can like incorporate it onto a minifigure. I'd say for this one, not bad for the first try. It could have come out a little bit better. Like if when removing the helmet, as you can see, he has a blank face. I didn't give him any face designs, but if you look at the cape, you can see where I kind of cut out. Well, on one side I cut out the hole a bit too large, and then on the other one I cut out really large. Actually, I don't know. Okay, there you go. I cut out really large, so there's a giant hole on the side of it. It's not shown too much, like when I put this side over it. Alright. But cutting it out, it could have come out a little bit better for like the general idea of it. Since the head is pretty much on it most of the time, you can't really see it so much. But cutting it out could have come out a little bit better. So again, I'd say not bad for the first try. I'll definitely do this again for the future, and hopefully like the next cape I make, it will come out better. And while we're at this, I'll show you that another little accessory, another spoiler to Mando is that he gets a jetpack. I've had a couple of these like in my Lego bin for some time, in time, and I thought about giving one of them to my one of my clone trooper minifigures, but I didn't go ahead and do that. So I've always had these jetpacks here for a while, and then after seeing in the last episode of Mando, I thought that was just like, nice, that looks pretty cool. Pretty cool. It was a bit tricky of painting this because it already had some Sharpie on it at the time, so it took a couple of layers to get rid of the Sharpie, and so that way it didn't turn to like a silver bluish kind of color, kind of coloration. I had to do the same thing when repainting clone troopers helmets. But getting that out of the way, I'd say this looks pretty cool. And all in all, I'm now glad that this minifig is the first, has gotten the honorary place of being the first LEGO Art Showcase for 2020. And I'd say, even though it has a few flaws, I'd say this turned out pretty nice. So that does it for this episode of LEGO Arts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you're kind of curious on why is there no Baby Yoda minifigure, well, originally for the showcase, I was just gonna have it just be Mando. I did have the idea of doing Baby Yoda as sort of like a secondary little additional figure, but I want to do him like as the actual like using one of those actual baby minifigures, but I don't have any of those. I will eventually get one of those. So Baby Yoda is on the list of figures that I will definitely do for this year. So as soon as I get Baby Yoda done, I'll do a quick little showcase for him. To complete the little Mandalorian set. And speaking of which, with the blaster as well as the helmet and the other like printed detailing stuff that I mentioned from Firestar Toys, if you guys want to check those out, like if this inspired you to make your own Mandalorian minifigure, I'll include a link to Firestar Toys in the description below. Go check them out. They do amazing stuff, and really, really cool people. So for some showcases in the future, I so far have 4 showcases in the works. We have Showdown Mana Wave 2, Ruby Volume 7, Benny and the Dark Revival, and Umbrella Academy. So with Ruby, I wound up having to have some original ideas and like sort of redoing them, like redoing a few certain things. I'll explain in more detail when I get around to doing that showcase. Showdown Beta is still under construction, and I still have to get started on Dark Revival as well as Umbrella Academy. So I promise that throughout this year, I'll get those showcases done as soon as possible for you guys. And for some Let's Plays, with our Let's Plays, they might have to go a little bit on hold, just for a little bit. So hopefully it won't take super long, but my webcam apparently has turned into an ethereal entity from another dimension, meaning that the audio... Okay, so like the microphone audio as well as the video game audio, they're in sync, but the webcam apparently is going too far ahead, and as such, it's messing everything up and putting everything out of sync. So I'm looking into it now, and my hope is to get it done before the 23rd, so we can get it just in time for Kingdom Hearts 3 Reminded. But with some other Let's Plays, like when I figure all this done, we'll resume on Spider-Man PS4, get started on the reboot for Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, and getting around to doing DMC Devil May Cry Definitive Edition. So as soon as I figure everything out, we'll continue on from there. But anyways, yeah, that's gonna do it for now. So if you guys would like to see some of my other showcases, you can check them out in my LEGO Arts playlist. If you want to check out my Let's Plays, you can check it out on the channel as well. But all in all, I'm just here to have some fun. And we're gonna keep things rolling. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button, comment below what you think, share it to your friends, subscribe to YouTube, follow me on Twitch. And here's the hop of the road. Woo! Woo! Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. What a nice moon rises!